Now, so this chapter, we're working with percentages, is much smaller than what we've done before. I think it's only 4 lessons long, and they're short lessons, not huge lessons. The first 2 are really short, the last 2 get a little bit longer. Right, let's start off with our names and your block. We're block 3 of day 1, or 1 and 3, I don't know where it goes. All right, so 3-1 or 1-3, I can't remember which way it goes. Okay.
Oh, it's day 3 of the week because it's Wednesday.
Here we go. Let's get started. So now, after this point in math here, all of our chapters are quite small. 3 or 4 lessons. So we're going to go through them quite quickly. If you're somebody who's absent quite frequently, check the website. Right? So we'll probably be done this chapter in a couple of weeks. Right? I'm slowing it down with the warm-ups to getting ready for the end of the thing. But most of the chapters, just a couple of weeks, moving on, which is kind of nice. Okay, so day 1. Today, we're going to talk about different ways we can represent percent. Now, if I say the word percent, it means we're out of something. Yes? Out of 100. Percents are always out of 100. Right? Now, which makes it nice for comparison. If I say you got 20 out of 24 on the test for unit 1, and then I say you got 15 out of 35 on unit 2, it's hard to compare those numbers because they're out of different things.
Yeah.
Percent makes it a lot easier because everything's out of 100, so it's easier to compare. Yes, Carson?
You spelled it 2 different ways throughout the thing.
I know, there's 2 different ways. I apologize. Yeah. Okay, so how can we represent percentages? One of them is with a percentage. Right? That's when you have, you use a little symbol like this, right? Or we can use fractions.
Oh my goodness.
Right? So you got this is where we take notes. I'll play with our model, right? So you got 15 out of 30 on the test, right? That's a fraction. Or it could be a decimal, which we haven't done much work with. We'll get that in a couple of lessons here. Or what we're going to do today is using a hundreds grid. So this is more of a picture way of showing a percentage. And it's the easiest marks you're going to gain. And I like this lesson. This is soothing. You get to color in boxes.
Yay.
All right? So today we're going to look at using hundreds grids. It's called a hundreds grid because...
I didn't finish writing the words.
Oh, sorry.
I had one left.
Oh, you had one left?
Yes.
It's called a hundreds grid because if you look at that big box there, how many little boxes are inside of it? 100. Okay, now, it's easier if you know how big each row is. Bryce?
Like how many are in each row?
So going across, how many are in each cross?
10.
10. So it makes it easier to count. It goes 10 this way, 10 this way. So here, if I said this picture represents a percentage, Bryce, what would it be?
30%.
30%. We have
30 out of 70.
10, 20, 30. 30%. All right? That's how you would write down your answer. Right? Makes it easier because we know it's 10 this way and 10 this way, so we can count by tens instead of counting each box. All right? So, instead of counting, sometimes you may be asked to draw. So if I say you have 8%, and I want you to color in the picture for it, how many boxes would you shade in?
8.
8. So shade in 8 boxes. Now, I'm going to use my color here. And that's 8. All right. Which 8 you shade in, it doesn't matter. Right? So long as 8 out of the 100 are shaded in, it's fine. Your 8 could look like what I have here. Your 8 could gone like maybe like this, right? Or I have some students who get cheeky sometimes and they want to go like this. They'll go 1 here and 1 here and 1 here. And you're not wrong. If you do something like this, because you're being cheeky, that means Mr. Dhaliwal is going to be cheeky with his marking. So if you're not fully shaded in, or maybe you miscounted because you're being cheeky, you're going to get marked more incorrectly or less forgiving in my marking. All right? So technically, 8 is any 8 boxes fully shaded in. But for my sanity and ease of you, let's do them all in a row. Right? I say that, but there's always somebody every year who does it weird, and they always make mistakes.
We don't like Mr. Dhaliwal.
All right? I'm warning you. Whoever does this always makes a mistake somewhere.
I'm doing it, so.
All right, you're gonna may lose that easy mark. Okay, so next one, 94%. How many are we going to shade in?
94.
How many are we not going to shade in? 6. So maybe it's easier to think of it. Just leave 6 blank and shade in the rest. All right? Three. Oh, that's too far.
Dang, those are straight lines.
This is where having colors or highlighters is nice. Color it in.
Could we just use a highlighter on this?
If you have a highlighter. Right? The felt makes it a lot easier to go through, right? All right. So, something like that, as long as you shade everything in, except for 6 boxes are empty, you're good. And now it doesn't matter which 6 you leave empty either, right? All right. Let you guys finish shading that in, and we'll talk about the next little part.
Yeah. He told me to move up.
Okay. Are we ready to go to the next part?
Yeah.
All right. So, sometimes with percentages, you guys can have a number bigger than 100. Right? So, maybe you did some bonus marks on a test and you got 115% or something like that. So, if your percentage is bigger than 100, and you want to draw it out, what do you think needs to happen?
Add more boxes.
Add more 100 boxes. That's all it is, right? So if you are working with a percentage more than 100, another way of saying that is greater, then shade in more than 1 grid. Okay? So if I give you the first answer, question is 147. It's more than 100, so we're going to need 2 grids. How many do I shade in the first grade?
100.
How many do in the second one?
47.
Yeah, thank you. So, completely shade in the first one. All right. Nice and soothing.
Oh, I got a highlighter. So I don't have any more.
Can I borrow it after you're done?
Yeah.
Right? So count by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, and 7.
Mr. Dhaliwal, get a highlight on your bra.
Yeah.
I know. Gates go. Gates go.
Okay. So 101 and 47 yellow. 4 full rows and an extra 7 kicking around.
And then 7?
Yeah, so that makes 47, right? 4 and 7.
What do you have to
48.
do?
Yeah.
Oh. You have to like.
We are getting a little trickier territory. It's not going to be all super easy.
There we go.
All right, I'll give you guys another like 10 seconds here to finish off that one. Then we'll talk about the next one. It's trickier.
9 maybe?
So the next one, it says 103.5. How many would we shade in the first one?
100.
How many would we do in the second one?
3.5.
3.5. Right? So 3 full ones and a partial one. So if I take this, there you go. Let's shade it in. So shade the first one at 100%. Go there.
I'm just doing a whole bunch of these.
Oh, that looks so bad.
Oh, I should have done a smiley face. I should have done a smiley face on 47 one.
103.5. Now, when we have these decimal percentages, it leads to a problem. Right? If I gave you a question on the test, and imagine I drew these orange boxes in and I didn't show you the number, and I asked you, hey, what's the percentage here? You could count that up and say 147%, right? That's not too big of a deal. Now, if I did the same thing here, covered this up and said what percentage this is, how many of you guys would say 103.5? Or you can maybe say 103.7, or you may say 103.6. When you are filling in less than a full box, there's interpretation that the other person is going to have to make to guess on what number did you say? 0.5? Is it 0.5? You can't count. We did our best job we can drawing it. It's not really accurate.
5 point.
Right? So, on the next page, we're going to talk about this situation. When you have less than 1%, how do we do a better job of showing this so other people can read your drawing better? Okay? So, in this situation, right? So when we have
Why are yours all colored?
a portion of a percent, right? That means less than 1. That means percent less than 1, right? That's what a portion means, portion of percent, right? This is what we call a fractional.
Fractional?
Yeah, fractional percent. So, if I gave you this fraction, we work the fractions right now, 3 out of 4%. I don't like this writing, so how about we write it like this? 3 out of 4%, like this. If I had asked you to draw that in the last chapter, you're drawing me a box. How many pieces would be in that box, and how many of those pieces would be shaded? Right? So if I did that last chapter, I'd say, hey, for this fraction here, 3 out of 4, draw me a picture. That box would be divided up into how many pieces? So if I have a box here, how many pieces would it be divided up into?
I don't know.
Sorry, yeah, I heard it over here. 4. The bottom number tells you how many pieces you're broken into. So 4 equal sized pieces. And how many would be shaded? 3. That's the top number. 1, 2, 3. So if we have a 3/4%, we divide the square into 4 sections, and we shade 3 of them. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. So if you have a percentage less than 1, what we do is we do a zoomed in version. So you draw your little colored thing in, and then you zoom it in. That's what this is. And that tells you your percentage less than 1. So this percentage, right, is going to be a fraction. Thomas, that's enough, bud. What number goes on the top? What number goes on the bottom for this one here?
2, 4.
Sorry? So let's do the bottom first.
2 and 5.
Not 2 and 5.
Wait, no, 7.
Raise your hands, please. Jaden.
3 and 10.
3 and 10. The 10 I agree with. The bottom number is 10. But what's the top number? Not 3.
7.
Bryce.
7.
7. Thank you. There are 7 shaded. So that 7 out of 10 represents a decimal. Okay? Like the 0.5. Right? So now, let's suppose that we have something like this. Let's do this one. So Thomas, how about you go finish this with a wolf den?
I don't think it'll open.
I think they're running close in the morning. Give it a try, and I'll come back. You're making too many noises here, man.
Okay.
Go. Okay, so this one, slightly different than the other one. How many full boxes are there?
1.
No, no. All these. These are all one.
5.
So how many?
75.
75. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this is 75%, actually a little bit more than 75%. It's 75 and a little bit more. How much a little bit more? No, not 0.5. Look in the zoomed in box.
Third.
A third more. So, in the zoomed in box, 1 out of the 3 more. So 75 and a third more. And don't forget your percentage. Right? So, when we see percentages, a fraction with a percentage next to it means less than 1. Right? Don't think of it as a test score, meaning a number bigger than 1. That's a third. Okay. How many, for this yellow one here, how many full boxes do we have? Count it up. Don't yell it out. Once you've seen it, raise your hand. Right? Give it, I'll ask you, Gage, in a second. Just give people a couple more seconds to count. All right. Gage, how many full boxes?
42.
Okay. So 42 full boxes. Then we looked for our partial. We go, what is our fraction? How much is in the little tiny little box? Price? 5/8. So 5 shaded out of 8. And the percent symbol. Okay. Okay, do these 3 on your own. Ooh.
Can I get the washing machine? No way, bro.
So, first one here. What's the full number? How many full boxes, Nav?
42.
Thank you, Nav. What's our fraction, Nav? Did you do that? No?
8 over 8.
You got?
8 over 8.
Not 8 over 8. 5 over 8. Okay? No, the bottom number is how many there total there. So remember to put the percentage. Walking around, a lot of people just had this written down. You need percent. Okay. Next one. What's the full number, Adrian?
74.8 over 10.
74 and 8 over 10%. Carson, you got the last one?
18 and 3 over 4.
3 over 4 and percent. Okay. No?
No, yeah. I'm just thinking.
Okay. So, next level of difficulty is making your own tiny square. All right. So, a significant portion of the world's fresh water is found in Canada. But Canada only has 1.5% of the population of the entire world. Let's draw this out. Okay. How many full boxes would we? 1. That's where we get this from. Okay. Shh. How many partial boxes do we draw?
Half.
Half. Now, so here in our zoomed in version, how many pieces is this going to be broken into? 2, because we're talking about halves. And we're going to shade in one of them. And in our little diagram, we're going to do our best to just show a half of it shaded in. We're not too picky about that, but we want to do a little diagram over here as well. Right? Okay. All right. So, next question. A credit card company charges an interest rate of 18.75%. That is a lot of money.
18 and
So, how many, first of all, how many full boxes? Nav. 18. So, 18 full boxes. We're going to draw that. So, that's a 10. And that's 18. Okay. The partial, Bishop.
3/4.
Okay, how many pieces do we break our box into?
4.
And how many of those shaded in?
3.
3. Okay. Right? So when you break these pieces up, try to do it in equal sizes. So 4 is easy one to do with a cross. So break it in half this way, break it in half the other way, so that you're drawing it in equal sizes. Right? Then we're going to shade in 3 of them. 1, 2, 3. And then a little diagram off to the side. We're going to try to shade in a little diagram that sort of looks like what we did. A little mini representation like that. And that's it. Okay? All right.